Welcome back, guys. We have a special start of a new series that's going to be going on for maybe the next couple months, especially this summer. It's going to be called Catch and Cook. So, for the first episode, I kind of wanted to do it by myself. Something that I was thinking of, and we are out here at one of my favorite spots. It's north of Daegu, um, on the Gumho River, and we are going to be starting off catching some bluegill. Now, I'm not going to eat the bluegill, they are delicious, but I'm after some small bluegill, and then I'm going to use them to catch some big bass around here. And that is what I'm going to use for our first catch and cook episode. And I had an idea the other day. I really love tacos, just like everybody else. Fish tacos are absolutely amazing. Um, and I was thinking, fish tacos usually have some type of white fish inside. And so I was thinking, well, there's plenty of delicious white fish in the river. So why not bass tacos? And so that's what the mission is today. So I'm going to catch bluegill to catch the bass, and I'm gonna clean the bass. I'll show you guys how to clean the bass as well. I see a lot of people doing that these days, showing people how to clean and fillet. I think most people already know that, but there are actually a lot of people that never uh, cleaned fish before. So with bass, super easy, just like with catfish. So we're gonna be doing that. I'm not gonna be using that much battery focusing me on fishing. Um, Once I catch enough bluegill and I start using them to catch the bass, then I'll start using more of the camera. But as getting started out, I'm not going to use that much. Uh, First up, last night with all these storms coming, a lot of rain, I knew that the big night crawlers, the gray worms, are going to be out. So I went out, caught a bunch of them that are at least 6 inches long. So I'm gonna be using those on little bait hooks to catch the bluegill. And you never know, the bass might be after uh, the night crawlers as well. So we'll see what I can get starting off. And then I might try to use some spinners or whatnot. The water's a bit cloudy, so they could be working as well. It has taken me about an hour to finally catch my first bluegill out here. I don't know why it's taken this long, but as you can tell, it's a little too big for hooking on the back and letting it swim around. Um, I would definitely need a pretty big hook if I'm trying to catch something big out here, but it's pretty quiet. And yeah, this little guy, well, fairly big. He's got a lot of color. He's got a lot of orange on the bottom as well. But yeah, gonna have to keep trying for a smaller one. Well, I was able to catch, let's see, a few small bass off worms. I kept getting big bluegill. Uh, they're just too big for me to try to hook and let them swim around and catch a bigger bass. But then the worms are catching smaller bass, and smaller bass are actually more delicious to eat. Their meat and everything's just tastes a lot better than the big ones when they get older. Just same thing with catfish. The giant ones just aren't as delicious as the ones that are just a couple pounds. So I got a few in the cage, and maybe try to catch a couple more. small bass. He came in, all right, he came in just towards the end, but like I was saying, even some of these small ones, they get a nice good fillet right here, and perfect for probably a taco. So man, they're hitting them now, so that's nice. Now it is time to clean up some bass. So I'm gonna show you how I usually clean one, then I'll do the rest. Not something that's that fun to see, but if we're just gonna be making some tacos, we can just fillet them very easily. Okay, so now you can just hold on to it like that. They're not gonna move, much, but what we're trying to do is get underneath this fin right here and then go down till we get to the bone. You can kind of feel the bone in the middle a little bit. And then we're gonna start turning. There we go, there's the click. And it'll just go all the way down. Flip it. Get down to the skin a little bit. And just like that. Now there's a little piece right here. You can go under the, get it out. There we go. And just same thing to the other side. There you go. It's perfect. Before we start cooking, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for these tacos. I've got all kinds of vegetables, cheese, sauces that's going to be very, very important for making it taste the best. For the fish, we're going to be using this blackened redfish magic. I was going to fry it, and then my buddy said, being bass, why not season it with this stuff, blacken it in the pan, and it may come off with a better seasoning than your normal like Cajun cornmeal. Now, I really like that style, and it could be just as great. That's thinking that this is going to be really, really good. So nothing ever really goes wrong with the old Chef Prudhomme seasonings. So we're going to do that coming up very soon. Now, some of my sauces. This is a Chipotle sour cream sauce that I just made. So I've got a little spice to put on top of the fish, and then we've got our purple cabbage. That'll given the color, just makes it really, really nice looking, and it's going to give a little bit of a crunch with that. And then on top of that, we'll add some cheese. We got our cheddar cheese blend. We've got some fresh green onions. we've got our yummy fresh cilantro, and of course some lemon. A lot of times you want to squeeze a little lemon on top of some fish. You may not need it since we're not going to be deep frying it, but some people really love that citrus flavor with tacos. And then, of course, my favorite is all about the salsa. That's really my favorite part of any taco, is having just a yummy hot sauce or salsa. And this is one of my own black bean salsa. So got my favorite for that. Made it just a couple days ago. And then of course we got our tortillas. Now I'm going to be cooking these in a pan a little bit. You want to just cook them, just 10 to 20 seconds. You got to wait till they start bubbling a little bit, and then you flip them over. Now they're so much better when you cook them. Now they're really made for you to put back in the pan and warm them up, let them get fluffy. They're okay straight out of the bag, but it's not really meant for that. So much better when you cook them. So this is what we're going to be using for the fish. The fish we've got right here on the ice, and then we're waiting for my buddy Corey to get here very soon, and then I'll start cooking and I will make. So here we are, we got our fish ready. Now they're on ice, they're fresh. Now they were filleted just this morning, if you watched a little bit earlier. And now we're going to put them in our new bowl here. And we got that seasoning that I introduced earlier. We're gonna get that redfish magic. Now we just need to, now you don't have to dry them off. If you dry them off, they're not gonna be able to get any of that seasoning on. And that's gonna be the purpose. We want to have all that delicious seasoning there and keep it stuck on. So now we're gonna sprinkle it on, and you want to use a lot. You want to make sure it's covered. Make sure it's all stuck on. Flip it and do the same. Make sure some of the sides get plenty of seasoning. And we are just about ready. Alright, so here in the pan, I've got just a little bit of oil. You do not have to use any oil when you blacken fish. That seasoning protects the fish so it doesn't stick to the pan, but I did put a little bit, and then I took a paper towel and kind of just moved it around just to make sure that nothing sticks at all. So now we can just place it directly. And don't worry, I have a whole lot more fish than just this. We're going to be making plenty of tacos. But before we make too many, we got to make sure it actually tastes good. So we're going to get our first couple tacos made, and then we'll see how nice it is and make more. Alright, it is time to flip over. Let's see how good they look. Nice, starting to get a little darker. Now anybody in Korea that's never had blackened fish, that doesn't always mean that it actually blackens. Now if you cook it long enough, especially like chicken, you'll really get a dark near black look to it. Now that doesn't mean it's bad for you. It's just the seasoning. The seasoning is meant to take that crisp. And that's when you want it to be just right. But if you don't want it to be too dark, then you just, you don't have to cook it that long. And being with fish, I would rather not cook it that long because I don't want it to dry out, especially with bass and being much, these fillets are much thinner, so they should be just fine. 2 minutes on each side, and they'll be nice and soft. A little crisp with that seasoning, so perfect for the taco. I believe they're done, so let's take them off. And then we'll take a look at one of the thicker ones. There's one that was a little bit thicker. We'll make sure the inside is cooked all the way. And then we're going to start grilling the tortillas real fast. So let's take a look inside. Make sure it's nice and white. It is looking perfect. All right. All right, time to grill these tortillas. So, as I was saying earlier, when you get them out of the bag, they're really meant to be thrown on the pan and let them bubble up and they get real soft. It doesn't take that much time. So if you want to make sure it stays flat, and it'll take just maybe 15, 20 seconds until you start seeing some bubbles. And then once those bubbles start forming right here, I see them, they're coming up. It doesn't take long at all. Once you see that, you go ahead and flip it. Now if you see, did not take long at all. Now they're going to be fluffed up and they're just going to give a lot better flavor. And this one is perfect. All right, well, my buddy Corey just got here. Now Corey's from Canada and he spent a lot of time in Mexico. Like I had said before, he's tried all kinds of their food, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to have him here to test what I'm making today. So I've just completed the fish. I've made him a fresh, warm tortilla, and let's get started because Corey's hungry. He's been smelling it, and he is ready to go. So here we go. Let's see how I'm going to make it. So, all right. Well, first things first, let's get the fish in. So we got 2 of the small pieces, just like that. Now I'm going to put some of the purple cabbage on top. Yeah. Get a little bit. That's all about just the color as well. Again, you'll get a little crunch. Purple cabbage doesn't have that much flavor on there. Now next up, I'm going to put the chipotle sour cream across. Just like that. And then I'm going to put some cheese. Everybody likes cheese, so we'll put plenty. Then I'm going to put in my favorite black bean salsa. Put that on top. Give a healthy dose there.
Yes.
And then sprinkle on top a little bit of green onion. And of course, plenty of yummy cilantro. And if you like a little bit of lemon on top, then you can have some lemon. Well, that's as good as I think I can get it. So let's see. Let's give it a better close up of that yummy bass taco. I got some good confidence right now that this is going to be delicious. So, all right. Well, Corey is the master here with Mexican cuisine. So let's see what he's got.
Putting some lemon on there. These ingredients look good, but nice and squeeze on there. All right. Gonna be a harsh judge here. I've eaten a lot of Jared's food. It's always good. We're talking about tacos here. It's no joke. Smells very fragrant. Good choice of ingredients. All right. Here comes the big test. That's very tasty. Very tasty indeed. Good choice of spices. The cilantro. For all you cilantro haters out there, I feel sorry for you. Because nothing goes with Mexican food like cilantro. Black bean salsa, beautiful. Fish, light, not dry at all. Really comes through very well. I highly recommend this. Good job, Jared.
All right, well, you've heard him. He's the judge, and he's been a judge in many competitions around here. He's always picked to judge the food because he knows so much about everything.
Now, got the belly to go with it.
So there we go. So I'm gonna believe it, and I'm gonna make another one, and I'm gonna try it myself. So thank you, Corey, for coming, and thankfully that I actually did it well. So
thanks for feeding me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode, and we'll get back to eating.